Welcome to part 2 of What If Copa America edition. If you haven't seen part 1 covering the Euros, you can check it out on the channel. Like I said, guys, it's going to be chill. This is a vibes episode. This is carefree. I got my flip-flops on. Connor did have his shades on. I don't know where they've gone. And he's got probably one too many buttons unbuttoned. But that's going to be the overall attitude for this episode. If you guys want more serious Copa previews and coverage and all that stuff, we have 50 hours of stuff for you to check out on the channel. Make sure you drop a like on the video and hit subscribe so you don't miss all of our live streams covering the Copa starting next week.
You want me to go first? Remember, my hater hat is on, and not for the reasons you're going to think. Okay?
Okay.
You ready for this?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What happens, and this is just a what if scenario, right?
I'm already
What
laughing. I have
happens
no idea what you're going to
if
say.
the United... Oh, I think you do. Deep in your heart.
You're like,
your feelings.
What? And I'm like, oh, shit.
You're like, oh, God. Don't say it.
Don't say it.
I'm like, what do you think I was going to say? I have no idea.
I have no
Okay.
idea.
You ready? Hater hat is on.
Okay.
Whipped.
Okay.
What happens if the United States men's national team does quite literally the impossible and wins it all? This is my hater question. And I want to talk about this from a perspective of the U.S. men's national team to the layman here in the United States. Because I'm going to tell you right now, nothing. Nobody's built up this tournament with marketing. Listen to me.
That's true.
Nobody built up this tournament with marketing. There's no reputation. There's no hype for it. It's here in the United States. I mean, frankly, I've seen more hype for the cricket team winning in the Cricket World Cup than I have for Copa America, which is just wild. Mm-hmm. What happens? What happens? Does it catapult a new generation of, United States men's national team players? Are we on par now with the U.S. women's national team? I don't think so. To us, it would be insane. That would be unreal.
It'd be insane.
But guess what? I think the reputation carries very much the same. I don't think many people will be at the parade, if we even have a parade. Is that a hot take, that if the U.S. men's national team wins the Copa America, that there will be no parade? I would be.
I mean, U.S. soccer might as well dissolve.
Yeah.
Literally, dissolve the organization.
It's their own damn fault. It's their own damn fault. I mean, did you pay so much money to bribe them to have the Copa America here that you don't have any for marketing? Like, what is that? Because that's what it is. It's marketing. Do we really just not care about football here? Because I've seen grassroots change, but I mean, for the love of God, right now, it feels like the amount of hype that I'm seeing, which is none, I feel like the Americans here care more about the Euros than they do about the Copa America that we are hosting, that is going to be one of the most competitive, difficult, and exciting tournaments that Copa America has been able to muster, that CONMEBOL has been able to muster, that CONMEBOL and CONCACAF has been able to muster in memory, maybe ever. I mean, can you think of a more competitive one? Powers are rising and falling. Brazil is not the favorite.
There's 5 teams that could win. Yeah.
There are 5 teams that could win here. And it's being played in the United States, and the United States has a decent shot. The best shot that we've probably ever had.
The best team they've ever brought to a major tournament is this Copa America.
The best team we have ever fielded.
Yes. Yes. This team is 20 deep.
Yep. You are a die-hard soccer fan if you are talking about it. That's my hater hat take, because guess what? I don't think much will change. I don't think so. I think that Alexi Lalas is going to get a podium and he's going to preach to the masses, and the masses are going to look at it and they're going to say, there's going to be hype. Some frat guys are going to be like, USA, USA, USA. And then silence. Whereas, think about this. If Mexico won the Copa America,
my God,
we would never forget about it. And maybe it's the difference in squad strength. Maybe it's the fact that their culture over there is so impressive. Like, we can talk about that.
It would be the only thing that could end cartel violence in Mexico.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that and like a new Dragon Ball Z episode.
Yes.
And if Vegeta beats Goku. Actually, Mexico City would burn to the ground.
Are we Team Vegeta, like, as a nation?
I'm Team Vegeta. I love
Oh, okay,
Vegeta.
okay,
That's my
okay, okay.
guy.
I didn't know if that was, like, a meme and on, like, Mexican Instagram that just hasn't made it my way yet, but we
No,
just
but
praying on
there
Goku's
is a
downfall.
drop. There is a significant drop in cartel violence every time a new Dragon Ball Z episode is released. Just so that statistic is out there.
That's crazy. We
Yeah.
could go for probably 45 minutes on this scenario alone. I'm gonna try so
Yep.
hard to keep this concise. Okay, what happens if the US wins? If I'm going hater just like you, I think us, the people who appreciate the sport, the people that look at the Copa America and say this is the second best tournament in the world just behind the World Cup. I think we will look at this and say it is the greatest achievement that a CONCACAF team has ever achieved, and it's
Has
not
ever
close.
achieved. No. Nope.
I think the United States are cemented as the best CONCACAF team of all time. And I think we start looking at the US and we're actually asking ourselves, okay, how do we get to the semifinals or better at the next World Cup? Now let's take us. We're probably 10 to 15% of the population. Let's put us in this bucket. The rest, the casuals, the plastics.
85 to 90% of sports fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
90%
impact would it have
plastics.
on them?
Yes. That I mean, that's why the Great Barrier Reef is being destroyed. It's because all of the casual US fans walking around here. It's disgusting. I think winning a Copa America would do almost nothing. I think it would do almost nothing. And I have a somewhat apples to oranges comparison. By the way, I hope I'm wrong, but that's my guess. That would be my hypothesis.
I hope I'm wrong too. Yeah.
Team USA, the best basketball team ever. Nobody touches the US. We can field a team of D1 athletes, and we might have a close game against Spain, Argentina, or France in the final. Maybe now that, you know, Luke, like I guess the Balkans are now kind of on the come up with Luka Doncic, Jokic, guys like that.
And Jokic,
Greece,
yeah.
maybe even with Giannis. Actually, the Balkans going hard at basketball. Anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah.
No one
Big
gives a
lads.
single shit when Team USA wins the gold. No one cares,
No.
bro. No one cares when they win
It's
gold. No
expected.
one.
No.
It's expected. It's expected, and it's entitlement. I think there's a problem with American exceptionalism that would carry over to the U.S. men's national team. I think there would be people who'd be like, well, we should win it. Argentina is the only other good team. They have no idea what the hell they'd be talking about. And I think within 2 weeks, we'd be saying, well, we need to win the World Cup now. We're World Cup
Yeah.
favorites.
That would be the dialogue. That would be the dialogue. And that is what infuriates me. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. I mean, our like awareness of the global soccer scheme, even on professional pundits, is so mediocre that we would catapult ourselves to a level of bias heretofore unbeknownst to man outside of
Mhm.
the English media. I would say that
Correct.
they are the only other ones that are so blinded by bias and their own dialogue that they would be capable of something like this.
And for very different reasons.
Because I
I
like
would say the English,
for very different reasons.
yeah. The English, you have the best league in the world. We can debate who invented
Yes.
footy. I honestly don't give a damn. But that's why they feel it. We have American exceptionalism because we're like indoctrinated in that as a youth. That winning is everything. We're told we're the best country, we're the best military, we've won all these wars, everybody wants to move here. It's the, we got the hottest girls, which is cap, and all these other things that basically get people drunk on the idea that we're number one in everything. And that's not true. And I think that mentality, well, I think it makes us better, except the modern dating scene. Well, I think it makes us better. I think it also makes us take things for granted. I think the Copa, no country on earth, bro, would take a continental championship for granted as much as the United States, with maybe the exception being Australia winning the old Oceania Cup because they also don't really care about footy that much. Barring that,
Yeah.
nobody else would wipe their ass with the Copa. Peru getting to a final and losing will never be erased from history, and they didn't even win the damn thing under Gareca. They won back
Yeah.
in the 70s, I think. 74, I want to say. And they still talking about that. That's what I think would happen. If we're just talking like a fandom reaction, see, like that's why it's crazy. It would
45
be
minutes a second. We could.
madness. Yeah, yeah. It's a 45
It would
minute
be
segment.
madness.
Yeah, we have the most
All right.
unique response to winning the Copa of any team. But bro,
Correct.
I feel like we got to talk about Berhalter for a second there. If Greg Berhalter wins the Copa America, hold on, dude. It's the same Southgate thing all over again. Like, what do we do?
180.
What do we say?
A 180. Yeah. Correct.
Like, what would you say?
I'm gonna
What
say,
will you say?
what's the
You tell me.
oh, I'll make a personal apology. I'll do it. You saw what the fellas on the Give and Go did. They wrote an apology to Dortmund. I would do the same thing. I would write a personal letter of apology to Berhalter. I'd say you were right the whole time. I didn't keep the faith. That's my bad. And you know what? I would go so far to say, to get an apology letter from me, semifinals. To get
Mm,
the dialogue on him switched, I'd say you got to play a banger of a game in the quarters. Like a banger of a game. If you lose the quarters, you got to play a banger of a game. You could get rocked 7-1 in the semis, and I'll still be Team Berhalter all the way. But you got to play a banger of a game and lose. You got to have an honorable death in the quarters to get me to change my opinion about this man.
you know what they would say though if Berhalter won?
What?
They say he got lucky. Tell me I'm wrong. They would say he got lucky.
They they would say that the players are more important than what he did.
Yeah. They would say they won in spite of Berhalter.
And I'm Berhalter hater number 1. Maybe not number 1, maybe like 5. But out
Yeah.
of 10% of the American population, that's pretty big, right?
I'm like 80 82. Yeah. I don't hate him quite as much
Right around.
as the average fan.
I would defend this man. I would still give him the credit, and I would say that somebody had to get the lads together. Because guess what? Managing 11 guys on a pitch, much less the roster of, what is it, 24 that we got to put together?
26. I think we got a
That's no easy feat.
couple extra.
26.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. 26, whatever it is, managing the full roster through that tournament, not tactics on the field, because I don't think we'll ever get masterclass tactics from him, but unifying them to the point, that's not how it would happen. It wouldn't be a tactical masterclass. It would be him getting them to play like we did in Miracle on Ice. You know what I'm talking about? Kurt Russell,
It's my
Miracle
dad's
on Ice, the hockey
third
movie.
favorite movie. Yeah. It's literally Avatar, Return of the King, Miracle on Ice.
Your dad's favorite movie's Avatar?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like Last of the Mohicans or something.
No, he loves that movie too, but no, Avatar is one by a long shot. He loves Avatar. We as a family
That's
have
so
watched
sick.
Avatar 75 times. Like it's crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Actually, that is so hilarious. I would have
Yeah.
never guessed that.
Yeah.
All right,
He
dope.
loves the story.
Cool.
I want to say one last thing about this.
Mhm.
Christian Pulisic, hands down, best US player ever if they win the Copa.
Ever. Ever. Ever, 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 ever.
Yeah.
Because in order for them to win the Copa, the man's gotta have at least 4 or 5. I mean,
Yeah.
competition for Golden Boot.
Yep. Which I think he will be in there when it's all said and done. I do. Mainly because I think Panama, Bolivia in the group stage, he can get 3 goals against those 2
He's
teams.
stat padding. Yeah.
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 Yeah. And then he just needs 1 in a knockout game. He's at 4 goals.
Yeah.
And that's going to
No,
be
the
in the
man's
running.
brand is gonna go crazy.